saying? When you get off that motherfucking plane.
Welcome to Atlanta, baby.
We didn't just show up to technology. We have been a part of the nascency of this field. We have been a part of not only the trajectories getting people to space and back in one piece. We've been a part of the creation of GPS, which everybody uses. We've been a part of the creation of the cellular phone, which clearly is so ubiquitous, it's just not, it's unreal.
Well, as you know, Atlanta is known for a lot of things, music, culture, and civil rights. But now the city is emerging with a brand new title.
Natisha Lands takes us behind the city's rise as the Black Tech Capital. It's now the nation's fourth fastest growing market, with almost 32,000 tech jobs added in the past 5 years.
In Atlanta, one of the fastest growing cities in the country, tech startups are helping to fuel the boom.
I don't think there's a better place in the country if you're a black entrepreneur to be.
People they always gonna come around when that money up, but when that money down. None of them people they not around, none of them people they not around, no.
Atlanta's special. The entrepreneurs here are driven, motivated, and more importantly, they feel a deeper purpose. It's not just about making money and building a business. It's about really establishing the footprint and the foothold of their legacy. And so what we've been able to see over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, particularly with black entrepreneurs, is this resilience that kind of shows through in their business operations, how they build teams and culture, and also how they actually structure and grow their operations of their business. So we're really, really excited about what black founders are doing here in Atlanta, and want to make sure that we're a resource to them.
So many people who are on the scenes in Atlanta have been able to take that momentum and just run with it. You have people who own $1 million revenue companies based in Atlanta, and they've probably started a few years ago. And because Atlanta is how it is, you're able to do that. You have big corporations moving there. Amazon, I was there at Amazon. Google is moving there as far as the engineering teams. And I think they're seeing that diverse talent is really attractive, and that's something they need, and that they're finding that in Atlanta.
We have entrepreneurs moving to the city. Roy and West at Healthy Hip Hop. Like, it's just all of this positive energy, man, and it's just something special. I'm just glad I get to be a part of it.
So I see the community continuing to grow. I think people are hearing about what amazing things are happening in Atlanta, about how this is the best place to be as a black entrepreneur. And so more people are going to be coming into the city. There are a lot of people here tonight that are new to Atlanta, excited about what's happening in Atlanta, and really wanting to build their businesses here. So I'm excited about the fact that the word is spreading. People are hearing about the fact that this is the Mecca. This is the place where you come if you want to be a successful black entrepreneur.
It's a great time. It's a great time to be a black tech founder in Atlanta, really in the black tech ecosystem. So a few things are happening. You're starting to see this movement of people that run people that run entrepreneur support organizations come together and are strategic about how we pipeline our best people, either through progress or potential, to give them the opportunities they need. You're also starting to see founders come in more prepared, people moving in from different parts of the country that see Atlanta as that place for black tech, right? So they come in better prepared, and now we have the resources, especially around influence and also corporations, to help them kind of succeed on an accelerated track.
What I'm excited about is that technology is becoming much more diverse, and that more women are getting an opportunity as well to not only work within tech, but to spearhead their own organizations and companies.
Having social impact is not optional if you're going to make it in the future economy.
We've always been in this space. We have always been technologists and innovators. This is nothing new. This is in us. This is who we are.
When you look at the work you've done and you filled up these rooms and it's growing and it's growing and it's getting bigger, where do you see it going? Like, where do you, in the next 5 years, where will we see, this community in Atlanta?
Yeah, that's a great question. Ironically, one thing I predicted maybe 2 years ago on a similar video shoot I did with Hypotamus.
Okay.
It was like a Feature Friday or something like that I did. I predicted that Atlanta was going to be the next black tech Mecca.
Okay.
I'll show you that video sometime.
Okay.
But I do fancy myself as, I do see myself as a visionary. I think I'm very macro level thinker, and I can visualize things.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of this happening. I saw a lot of it coming. And I, you know, a lot of times when things are happening and you're in the midst of it and you're, you know, they talk about how when things are bad, they'll seem worse before they get better. And so as long as we have this, we continue with this energy, you know, I can see around our community all these things happening. Just like now we have Joey and Jewel and Barry, and that's that momentum that we were building from years ago, and now all that stuff is starting to pop. So the same thing is going to continue to happen if we maintain that same energy. If you continually, you know, focus on and apply positive energy, positive things are going to happen. And so we just have to keep that same energy, and we'll see more people in tech, we'll see more leaders in tech, we'll see more successful startups. We're going to see it because it's already happening.
Of course, we thought about the fact that children of color needed to understand that these careers that 5 years from now will have been created that don't exist right now were possible within that industry.
Oh shoot, it's 2020. You look 8 years later, and now we're the people kind of trying to create that blueprint for the next generation. And so it's been a long time, but through all those learnings, through all those ups and downs, we now know what to do, what not to do, and we don't know everything, but we at least can get this next generation of Black founders into the right rooms, you know, make sure they don't make the bad decisions that we made, and in a nutshell, just being able to put them in a position to start where we ended and not where we began.
You know, everyone wants to be the next Silicon something, right? But in Atlanta, we have the opportunity to define truly what we are. You know, we've been building here for a while. We have tons and tons of people of color here doing stuff and who've been successful as entrepreneurs. And so there's a huge opportunity to just help those people become even better. Really focus on the tech-enabled part, which is that part between truly scalable tech and small business. And so that's something that's like, we have a huge network of entrepreneurship for people of color, for Black people especially, in this city. And I think it's really unmatched anywhere else, you know, in the country, quite honestly.
I remember saying to a friend of mine, it's a great time right now to be a Black woman. I think it's a great time to be Black, period, kind of in this space. What I'm starting to see come out of our community is an acknowledgement that if the future is going to be different, it's up to us to construct that future.
We have the tools, and now more of our kids are starting to see tech as a thing, right? It's getting cooler. I used to always say, if we could ever make tech cool, it's gonna be it, right? But it's starting to get that way. You see more athletes, you know, participate. They sharp now. They had events. They had tech events. They had, you know, same thing with entertainers, you know, rappers, actors. They're all starting to dip their toe in it more and more. And as it gets to be a more cool thing, you know, to be sophisticated. You see these guys making these billions. They're making these billions, and they're on the red carpets. They sharp. You know what I'm saying? They're not acting the fool. And I think that's starting to, you know, there's some momentum game behind that. And so, you know, I think in Atlanta, we're sort of leading that charge from a tech perspective.
Like I said, in 2012, when we started building our companies, there wasn't an ecosystem. There wasn't a lot of help. And in young ecosystems, you have to go through these cycles, right? You have to have some successes, you have to have some losses, you have to have the right people going through those successes and losses that want to turn around and build something great. And so I try to tell people it's not that we're late or our timing is just now. This is the perfect time for us to be doing what we're doing, and it took the Jewel Burks, it took the Joeys, the Barrys, the Candaces, the Ryans, like all of these dope entrepreneurs in the city. It took them kind of building up, getting it out the mud and starting something and growing something. And now you had to give us time to grow up, right? You had to give us time to go through our ups and downs and grow up. So then when we get on the other side, now it's just the right time, and all of us are kind of in this moment where you have Jewel at Google for startups, you have me at Techstar, you have Justin at Google, you have Joey at WeWork, you have Candace just launching a new a new partnership with several influencers at Mahavana. You have Ryan about to open up 2 more gathering spots this year. You just have all these entrepreneurs that all started around the same time out of Atlanta, just kind of coming into our own at the same time. And when you talk about just timing and things being right and things happening in 2020 for the city of Atlanta Black Tech.
I know that getting more people of color, more women into engineering fields is not going to happen overnight. And I think the percentage is now 3% of Black females are actually in this field right now. And so it's something that has to be a long-term goal, long-term milestones that I have to work on, you have to work on, large corporations have to work on, and we have to sow into this tech equity.
So again, remember, we started out seemingly from zero. So everything is progress. We have more investors now. We are starting to tap into the assets of Atlanta from a Black perspective, which are professionals, which are athletes, which are artists. And more of them are becoming aware of the startup scene, how they can help, how they can invest, how they can leverage their resources to assist. We are starting to see progression toward this collision course between hip hop, nightlife, other forms of entertainment and influence in Black culture in the startup scene, which is going to pay a lot of dividends down the road. You're starting to see more of us in the ecosystem in general. Again, people are coming out the woodwork. They kind of been in pockets of the city. People are moving from other parts of the country because of high cost of living, and they're raising the talent level in the city, which makes everybody be better. You know what I'm saying? So it's no greater time to be in Black tech. And more importantly, I think we're starting to see, again, the people that were quote unquote orphans 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, we've now kind of ascended into positions of power where we can leverage global brands to affect what's going on the hyper local side here in Atlanta, and that's never been seen before here in this city. Like, we have multiple people that have access to global brands and resources and can now direct those resources and open up doors for Black tech people here in the city.
From your perspective of some of the things that because you created things and natural growth has happened, what are some of the things you need? What kind of support do you need right now?
We need participation. We got to maintain the energy and be about we got to make things happen.
Yeah.
You got to get out of the house.
Yeah, you got to come, show up.
Yeah, and you got to make things. Yeah, pull up.
Yeah.
And be about making things happen and producing.
You win, I win. You know what I'm saying? When I win, you win. We all win together as a community, but I feel like we need to have more wins. I think in Atlanta, just Black tech essentially and around the nation, we don't have too many big, companies that are coming that are Black owned.
Funding now is at a much better place than it was 10 years ago. So versus your Silicon Valley and New York, there's a lot of money in those places. Financial, you got Wall Street in New York, and you have all the big tech companies out on the West Coast. Right now, Atlanta's just a pool of wealth. It's not, it's getting there. We just have to reallocate some of that wealth back into the tech industry.
Okay.
So you have a lot of wealth in the entertainment space.
Okay.
With the hip hop space, you have a lot of wealth in the filmmaking business with a lot of the studios that's popping up in Atlanta, like Tyler Perry Studios. But trying to get that money filtered into the tech space has been a large portion of the challenges as well.
So I learned that you have to know what your weaknesses are. Everybody has weaknesses, everybody has blind spots, and that's when you have to get people that can complement you or supplement those areas. And the people that think that they don't have blind spots and they can do it all on their own, those are the people who fail, and I learned that really quickly. If you have the right people in place and if you believe in yourself, and just don't discount yourself. A lot of people I talk to, they may not have a background in technology. They may not have an education at all, but I always tell people, you're the best person to solve the problems that you deal with every day. I have a PhD in electrical and computer engineering from Georgia Tech, but you're still the best person to solve your problems.
What we need to do now is not drop the ball. I mean, I feel like so many things are in the right place. We got all the blockers in front of us. We can see the end zone. We can see the success, and now it's just about not fumbling. We have to make sure that we stay diligent, keep that same founder grit that we had since 2002, really before that, and take this ecosystem stuff really seriously. And I think there are going to be some, one of the biggest gaps before was funding, and we're not going to be able to fund everybody. But I think shining a light on the fact how dope these Black entrepreneurs are, that other people will start paying attention, right? We just needed one kind of match to light, and I think that's going to be our fun with Collab, to start to really get some funding in early to some of these companies, and I think everybody else is going to come. And so we have all the incubation, we have all the tools and resources, and now it's just about moving the companies through those resources, funding them at the end, helping them scale and grow. And I think in 5 years, we're going to look around and have another 20, 30 Black millionaires walking the streets of Atlanta waiting to invest their money into the next generation. And this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. Silicon Valley took 20, 30 years to grow, right? We're in our second, third year. Like, we're still early as an ecosystem. And so I think when you look 5, 10 years down the line, we're going to be right where we need to be.
If we were able to do what we could do back then imagine what people can do now in a place like Atlanta. And so always pay homage to Atlanta and the people that came before me. And it's only the beginning. Things are changing. It's kind of slow, but I think the impact is actually happening.
This year is a make or break year, bottom line. Like I said, we've never had the amount of resources available to us, and it's about making a choice. Do we want to be average? Do we want to be good? Or do we want to be great? Right? And so great means you ask for feedback. You want to be perfect. Not that you are perfect, but you actually want to be perfect, right? So everybody got to make that choice, and so for us, making a statement, we're building a culture around making sure that people are great relative to making connections to Black tech founders. And so right now, again, we're building the culture. My thing is right now, how long will it take for that culture to become a norm?
Relationships and exposure is the two most important things to be able to propel not just us as individuals, but helping those young ones get a picture of what a Black tech entrepreneur looks like, or a Black tech person looks like. I think that is key as far as getting more and more people into our pipeline as far as Black tech, as well as getting over those stereotypes. Like you often see in movies, you see a tech person that wears a hoodie, typically a younger white male, down in looking nerdy, but then they never see two Black guys who look cool and dressed and kind of good looking. You see them in entertainment, but you don't see them in tech. You see them in sports. Yeah. You see them as a quarterback or a running back, but you don't ever see them in tech.
We no longer have to ask folks to make a connection for this founder, or for this storyteller, or for this, this promising high school junior or senior, or college junior or senior. It just happens because that's what the expectation is.
Deep engagement, sustained engagement over many years to build that expertise up, and then kind of bringing it all together by providing opportunities to interface with professionals so you can see what the next logical step is.
When I think about it, hip hop always created more opportunities. And so when I was growing up, everybody wanted to be Mike. Everybody wanted to shoot hoops, And so when hip hop came, everybody wanted to be rappers. Mm-hmm. Now these kids want to be engineers because these kids want to work for Facebook. These kids are building Instagrams themselves. These kids are thinking about how can we create technology, create our own companies. And so when I say tech is the new hip hop, when you think about, a lot of people don't know how much, how MC Hammer career sustained on his life was sustained through technology. Chameleonaire life was sustained through technology, investing in technology. And Nas, Nas has invested in over 40 companies. And we can go on and talk about will.i.am and, R.I.P. God bless his spirit and his family's spirit. Kobe was an investor in technology. And so now I look at the Marshawn Lynch's and the, even the T.I. T.I. here in Atlanta created tech ciphers as an, and so now, when we get on the bandwagon, we take over the bandwagon.
So having that outside visibility, I think it's good to let people know, more importantly, that black people are doing dope shit. Like that story has to be told, and it hasn't been told properly up to this point.
Thank you for not just having the vision to do it, but to also put some action to that vision.
Yeah, I've been up since the motherfucking morning. Tired of counting paper, man, I'm yawning. I've been getting to the motherfucking morning. Calling me, but you don't really want nothing. I done stayed down till a nigga came up. Now I'm getting money, yeah, I'm way up. Yeah, wanna see me, nigga, now you better pay up. All the shit you never gave us, we still made it, yeah. People, they always gon' come around, love when that money up, but when that money down. No, people, they not around, no, people, they not around, no. People, they always gon' come around, love when that money up, but when that money down. No, people, they not around, no, people, they not around, no. But I just came up, yeah, when it got my motherfucking change up. Hey, when it got some rollies in my change, yeah, no amount of money ever changed us, no.
We went out and did it. We went out and made it. We got it done. Determination, purpose, focus. That was the driving force behind creating this product. For all the people who believed in me, for all the people who saw my purpose, saw my vision, thank you. I dedicate this to my family. Through all the ups and downs in my life, y'all been there for me. We went out and did it. Y'all know what it is. We went out and did it.